Welcome to Ida's Kitchen. Bienvenidos. My name is Ida Lugo McAllister, and I am going to demonstrate how to prepare pan de agua, water bread. Every Sunday, my uncle would stop at the bakery to purchase pan de agua on his way home from work. The fresh bread was served with butter and consumed with a cup of Puerto Rican coffee. Pan de agua is a very popular bread in the Caribbean. Since the recipe calls for 2 cups of water, it is referred to as water bread. This bread has an outer crispy crust with an airy and fluffy center. It is very similar to Italian and French bread. For this recipe, I will be using rapid rice, instant yeast, and bread flour. I am going to also show you how to make this delicious bread using a stand mixer and microwave to reduce preparation time. In the future, I will make another cooking video on how to make pan de agua manually for those individuals interested. Let's start with activating the yeast. When using instant yeast, the yeast proofing is not required. However, I have been making this bread for 3 weeks using many types of yeast. Guess what? I got the best results with proofing the rapid rice instant yeast in the oven. Therefore, let's press the proof button to set the oven to the proof mode. We are going to heat 2 cups of room temperature water in the microwave for 1 minute or less. The water needs to reach a temperature between 100 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Depending on your microwave, you might need to increase the time. You don't need hot water, just lukewarm water to activate the yeast. You can also use tap water as long as it reaches the correct temperature. I love my digital thermometer. It is an excellent kitchen tool. We can now check the water temperature with a thermometer. Yes, the water has reached a temperature of 105, which is between 100 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. In a small bowl, pour the water along with 1 tablespoon of sugar. Stir to dissolve the sugar. The sugar will provide the energy the yeast needs to produce carbon dioxide for the bread to rise. Add 1 package of rapid rice instant yeast. And stir well. Cover bowl with a dish towel and place in the oven to proof for 20 minutes. The proof setting in oven provides very low heat for yeast to grow. In fact, my oven racks are barely warm to the touch. If you don't have an oven proofer, just find a spot in your kitchen with a consistent warm temperature from 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. While the yeast is proofing, I measured and placed 5 cups of bread flour into this medium bowl. Add 1 tablespoon of light salt and mix the ingredients with a whisk. The yeast has been proofing for 20 minutes, so let's remove bowl from oven and uncover. Do not turn off the proof setting because we still need to proof the dough. The yeast water mixture appears to be foamy on top, known as bubbly active yeast, due to the carbon dioxide. We are going to mix the dough using the lowest setting. For this mixer, it is the first notch. We are ready to make our dough. I love to use a stand mixer because the dough hook will mix and knead the dough. Let's pour the yeast water mixture into mixing bowl and add 1 cup of bread flour. For this recipe, I will be adding 1 cup of flour at a time. Stir the ingredients using the lowest setting of mixer. The dough does not have to be completely mixed before adding another cup of bread flour. Let's add the 2nd cup of flour and stir again. Continue this process until all the bread flour is added. After several cups of bread flour, the dough still has a sticky consistency. Let's add the last cup of bread flour. Continue stirring until there are no longer any excess dough stuck to the sides of mixing bowl. The mixture is starting to come together and form a dough. After a total of 7 minutes of stirring, the dough is mainly concentrated around the dough hook, leaving very little or no dough on the sides of mixing bowl. We just finished making our dough. We can now remove dough from dough hook. Place dough on top of kitchen counter and shape dough into a ball with your hands. The dough is round and has a smooth surface. can now place the dough in greased bowl. Let's cover bowl with a dish towel and place in the oven to proof the dough for 2 hours. The dough should rise and double in size. While the dough is proofing, brush the bread baking pan with olive oil. This is a perforated baking pan. This pan will allow the air to circulate around the dough, creating a crispy golden brown crust. Sprinkle the bottom of bread pan with cornmeal. This will help release the baked bread with ease and prevent from burning. In a small bowl, add 2 egg whites and 1 tablespoon of water. Stir until well blended and set aside. After 2 hours of proofing the dough, remove bowl from oven and uncover. Press button on stove to cancel the proofing process. The dough has almost doubled in size. With a dough scraper, gently remove dough from bowl without deflating it. Cut the dough into 2 equal parts with a dough cutter. Shape the dough into a loaf measuring at least 12 to 14 inches. Roll the dough several times. With the palm of your hands, shape the dough into a loaf. Round the ends of each loaf. Continue this process with the other half of dough. Gently place the loaves of bread on each slot of baking pan. Brush the loaves on top with the egg wash. The egg wash will create a golden color with a crispy crust. The last step is to make 3 to 4 small diagonal cuts on top of bread with a sharp knife. Before we bake the loaves of bread, we need to microwave a cup of water for 2 minutes and 15 seconds or until it boils, to pour into a shallow baking pan measuring 11 by 15 inches that has already been placed in the oven. We can finally start baking our pan de agua. Place cookie sheet with the loaves of bread on the top rack. Pour the boiling water into shallow baking pan on the bottom rack. Close oven door and wait for 10 minutes before turning on the oven. After 10 minutes, we can finally turn the oven on and set the temperature to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Bake for 30 to 35 minutes. After 30 minutes of baking, I removed the loaves of bread from the oven. They have a crispy golden crust on the outside. The kitchen smells like someone just finished baking some breads. With a serrated knife, let's cut 1 loaf of bread so you can see the inside as well. The bread is airy and fluffy. This is our pan de agua, water bread. My favorite bread is pan de agua. All I need is a cup of Puerto Rican coffee since I already spread some butter on top. You can tell that this bread is fresh, like we say acabadito de hacer. It is warm and soft inside with a crispy outer crust. An excellent bread for making our grilled ham and cheese sandwiches. Delicious. I took a big bite. I hope you have enjoyed watching my YouTube video on how to prepare pan de agua, water bread. Thank you for watching my YouTube cooking video. Please share, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you would like a copy of my cookbook, visit my website, aidaskitchenboricua.com, and click on the cookbook tab. My cookbook is a bilingual Puerto Rican cookbook, and it contains 42 authentic Puerto Rican recipes that I learned how to cook while living in Puerto Rico. This side is the English version. If you flip the book over, the other side is the Spanish version. Again, thank you for watching my YouTube cooking video.